Oh, what if we just all simultaneously renew our vows?
Let's go. I'm ready. I'm
To
ordained.
each other.
We'll become a
Let's see,
real,
1, 2, 3.
a
Okay,
real
we got 3
live
guys and
family.
3 girls here.
Uh-oh. Well, my wife, she's right through the wall here.
I have dibs on Jamie. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'll keep my comments to myself after that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Carganilla Online Variety Entertainment Podcast. Here's your host, Paul Carganilla.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to COVE. This is the online variety show in which we aim to both entertain and inspire our podcast listeners and YouTube viewers through a variety of art forms, including music, poetry, storytelling, special guest interviews, and more. We have a very, very special episode for you tonight. This is your Costco sample. This is an example of the bonus monthly Requestisodes that our Patreon COVE community members receive every month, in addition to the 4 regular episodes every Tuesday. There's always an extra edition called Requestisodes, and that is where Patreon members get to request songs from myself, producer Craig, poems from Craig, or other cast members who have been on the show before and want to come back and jump in on a Requestisode. It's a lot of fun. We'll talk more about the Patreon as we go along here. But first, let's bring in producer Craig Jackman and say hello to producer Craig. Hey, buddy.
Welcome.
Hey, Paul, this is exciting. I love it. We're on our 3rd Requestisode,
That's right.
and we've got friends to help us out. And this is exciting.
We do, yes. We started the podcast in July, obviously. So our first one was July, August. Here we are in September. This is the 3rd one. Last month, in August, we had the pleasure of having a couple of guests. Amanda Benjamin and Nicole Pierce jumped on with us for the Requestisode, which is so kind of them, as this is just a bonus for our Patreon community. It's so sweet of them to lend their time and talents to this group, and this is very special. It was just going to be the regular exclusive Patreon Requestisode, but with the cast that decided to show up tonight, I thought we have to share this. We have to share this with everybody, with the public. So
Absolutely.
if you're just hearing this, we welcome you. And this is as I mentioned, it's like a Costco sample of what you're going to get every month if you join the Patreon community. And you can do that for as low as $3 a month. And it supports the podcast. It helps cover our costs and helps with future growth and advertising and production value. And if you love the show, I encourage you to check it out over at patreon.com/COVE podcast. I encourage you to check it out as soon as the episode is over, but enjoy it now as we have so much. As I mentioned, our special guest lineup is insane. Let's bring them in. Let's welcome our guest performers for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mike Pierce, Nicole Pierce, Wendy Walker, Amanda Benjamin, and we're going to have another guest join us in just a second, but give it up for these amazing guests. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Hello. Thank you for having us. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. I am dead serious. If you're hearing Wendy Walker's voice, you remember her from episode 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody who's on here has been on a COVE podcast.
That's right. That's what this community is. Amanda Benjamin and the Pierces. We're all here on episode 6, I think.
Sounds
I
right.
think so.
And then a few weeks ago during our hurricane and earthquake, or hurricane episode that we decided to throw together at the last minute. That was a ton of fun, but a lot of familiar voices here for you, performers here for you, faces if you're watching on YouTube, and they've all been so gracious and kind to join us for the September Requestisode. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here tonight with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you.
It is my pleasure. And I will, of course, as the host of the show, put myself at the mercy of the request wheel first. We did gather requests for each performer from our Patreon community leading up to the show tonight. I allowed the performers the luxury of choosing their requests, but I will be spinning the wheel. And let's see what comes up. Producer Craig, if you've got the wheel ready.
Let's give it a spin. We got these songs here that Paul is going to possibly do tonight. So let's see which one comes up on the wheel.
What is this new spin music?
Okay.
Nice.
Any in sync.
Any in sync.
Any
Trash in
in
the camp.
sync. That is from Diana Nicole.
Diana Nicole. Gosh, now I have to decide on a song that I want to do.
Trash in the camp.
Does it count if NSYNC covered a song, but it was someone else's original?
It says any in sync, so
I don't
I'm
think you
assuming
can do
if
that
it's a
version.
cover,
That works.
yeah.
I mean, if it's done in the style of NSYNC.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It has to be like their
Like,
version of it.
Nothing
Did
I
they-
ever do is in the style of whoever I
See, I think it's
recorded it.
that is very true.
in the style of Paul Carganilla.
In the style of NSYNC.
Yeah.
Paul Modern Jukebox.
Yes.
Let's do maybe this one then. This is an NSYNC original. And it was, I believe, one of their first big singles. Here's a little Tearing Up My Heart.
As done by Paul Carganilla.
Baby, I don't understand why we can't be lovers. Things are getting out of hand. Trying too much, but baby, we can't win. Let it go. If you want me, girl, let me know. I am down on my knees. I can't take it anymore. It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you. But when we are apart, I feel it too. No matter what I do, I feel the pain. With or without you. Baby, don't misunderstand what I'm trying to tell you. In the corner of my mind, baby, it feels like we're running out of time. Let it go. If you want me, girl, let me know. I am down on my knees. I can't take it anymore. It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you. But when we are apart, I feel it too. And no matter what I do, I feel the pain. With or without you, it's tearing up my heart and soul. We're apart, I feel it too. And no matter what I do, I feel pain with or without you.
Very nice.
Loved it.
I'm glad you went with an original.
Thank you. Yes.
Wait, I want to know though, what was the cover song?
God must have spent a little more time on you.
Ooh.
What? Oh, I love that.
Deep cut.
Yeah.
Oh, I love their version too.
I know. Wait, who is the original?
I think it's like old country. I think it's like Willie Nelson times. Ancient.
Exactly. Get on that information.
What is the song name?
God must have spent a little more time on you.
Alabama.
Oh, that was an Alabama song?
Yeah.
Sure, okay. That makes sense, though.
So close to Willie Nelson.
Ancient.
They are
1999 is when Alabama did that song.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show the beautiful and talented Jamie Carganilla.
Hello, gorgeous.
Yeah, looking fancy.
Oh, I'm just in my little loungies.
Like a deep cut sweater you got on there. Feels like a deep cut tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here on Requestisodes evening.
Yes, your first Requestisodes with us.
It is.
And with your first look at the request list, what grabbed your attention?
Well, I decided to choose a song I have never done before.
Yes.
Yeah, I had not even thought about this song. I mean, I think the last time I heard it, maybe I was 5 years old. It's Out Here on My Own from Fame.
I'm gonna cry.
Do you remember who requested it?
This is a Krista King request.
Okay.
And I remember listening to this album. My mom would put the record on when I was growing up. And I just have not listened to that record since then. And yeah, I thought, oh my gosh, Fame. Oh, I have to.
I'm so excited. Wow. What a great song.
Shall. And here she is, ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Carganilla performing Out Here on My Own from Fame.
Yes. Sometimes I wonder where I've been, who I am, do I fit in? Make believing is hard alone out here on my own. We're always proving who we are, always reaching for that rising star to guide me far and shine me home out here on my own. When I'm down and feeling blue, I close my eyes so I can be with you. Oh, baby, be strong for me. Baby, belong to me. Help me through. Help me need you until the morning sun appears, making light of all of my fears. I dry the tears I've never shown out here on my own. And when I'm down and feeling blue, I close my eyes so I can be with you. Oh, baby, be strong for me. Baby, belong to me. Help me through. Help me need you. Sometimes I wonder where I've been, who I am, do I fit in? I may not win, but I can't be thrown out here
Oh my gosh.
Perfection.
Yeah. Just gorgeous.
Voices from heaven, the angels open up.
All of the shoes in the whole entire world.
I know.
Thank you.
And universe.
I just forgot how much I loved that song. I was like, Paul, do you know this song? He's like, no. I said, yes, you will. You'll know it as soon as you hear it. And when I'm down and feet. No.
No.
I did not know that song.
I don't know that song,
It's
but
from Fame.
I'm glad the first time I heard it was from you.
I wanna live.
Right? Yeah.
Thanks for having me, everybody.
Thank you for being on. All right.
I don't know that I've like ever seen Jamie like have a bad voice day, like make a mistake. It's just always the most like soothing, angelic, perfect performance. And she's like, okay, bye. And I'm like, where did this angel fly in from? And just leave. Like, it's amazing. I don't know how she does that.
She's pretty special, I think.
I know.
Yeah. And you're all so special for being here and celebrating the Requestisode with us in our Patreon community. We're going to talk a little bit more about what you can find on Patreon after our next performer. But since this is a Requestisode, I wanted to turn it over to the live chat to tell us who you want to see perform next. The first performer's name that pops up will be next. Whoever's on the keyboard. I'm taking the power away from the cursed wheel.
I was not prepared for this.
Well, I apologize. I didn't warn anybody, but I'm sorry, not sorry. Krista King says Amanda Benjamin. Amanda, I think this is the third episode of Cove that you've gone first.
Probably.
I mean, I went and Jamie went, but when it came to the first choice for the Requestisode, you're the first one they want to hear from.
All right. It was a really tough choice. Because I have like fan favorites, and they sent in their fan favorites for me, and I was like, they're my favorites too, and how do I pick? I have been a little sick this week. I had a pretty bad head cold, which is today it's like turning the corner, feeling definitely more energetic now. I'm like, woo, yay. But so I've been sick, not sleeping, so I was like, okay, I need something that like just like is in me. And so I went to my childhood favorite, one of my earliest memories of singing, one of them. That was on the list. And so I decided to do Part of Your World from Little Mermaid.
Yes, a classic, an all-time classic, and oh gosh, anytime you do any Disney, it's always a huge hit. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is... Oh, do we know who requested it?
Oh, I believe this was an Emily Thatcher.
Emily Thatcher request of Part of Your World from Little Mermaid as performed by Amanda Benjamin.
How can a world with such beautiful things be bad? Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders can one cavern hold? Looking around here you'd think, sure, she's got everything. I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's its and what's its galore. You want thingamabobs? I've got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing, walking around on those, what do you call them? Oh, feet. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down a, what's that word again? Street. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that world. What would I give if I could live out of these waters? What would I pay to spend a day warm on the sand? Betcha on land they understand, bet they don't reprimand their daughters. Bright young women, sick of swimming, ready to stand and ready to know what the people know. Ask them my questions and get some answers. What's a fire and why does it, what's the word, burn? When's it my turn? Wouldn't I love to explore that shore above, out of the sea. Wish I could be part of that
Amanda Benjamin.
Amazing.
Absolutely perfect.
Perfect. Even like recovering from a cold. It was so good.
No,
What
thank you.
cold?
I know.
Right? I can just hear
Nice.
that little, like a little extra nasal.
It was
Couldn't tell.
wonderful. You shut your nasal nose.
Okay, I'll just make it more nasal.
No. I love that nice soothing piano arrangement too that you found, but your performance was spot on and top shelf. Congratulations, great job.
Thank you.
Live.
And
Here.
now I get to relax. Thank you, Krista.
I mentioned we would talk about what the Patreon is. You go to patreon.com/COVEpodcast. It's a way to sponsor independent creators by committing to, I say committing to, but you can stop it at any time. Just a small monthly donation or subscription to their work. You can find painters on there. You can find artists and all kinds of just independent creators. A lot of podcasters too. And so the podcasters will sometimes give, exclusive content and like these bonus episodes and behind the scenes, this and that. And so as a COVE community member at the $3 a month subscription rate, you get to be a part of the Patreon community, which is it's like a Facebook, but it's just the group of people. It's like a Facebook group of people who are supporting the podcast every month. So you're a part of that. You see all my posts. You can comment and interact with those. You get a signed welcome letter and stickers, and the welcome letter is signed by all 4 Carganillas. And we say thank you so much for supporting the show. You get a podcast shout out. So once you join, I'll shout you out at the end of the episode. The next episode after you join, I will say thank you so much and welcome to the COVE Patreon community. Your name, and of course the monthly bonus Requestisodes. So for $3 a month, and if you think about, you're getting the regular 4 episodes a month. You're enjoying for free, and then this would be a 5th one. So 5. If you enjoyed 5 episodes a month of the show for $3, it's kind of a nice value, and you're still supporting the show and all of the costs that go into producing it and keeping it going and growing on the interwebs. So please consider that at some point. Check it out after the live stream is done, and we will throw it back to the Requestisode audience right now to find out who the next performer is. Go. We got Craig left, we got Wendy left, and both Pierces. Who will it be? Emily Thatcher says Nicole Pierce.
Yes.
Nicole gets the next vote from the Patreon community. She is one of our Patreon Cove curators, Emily Thatcher. And Nicole, you had kind of like already a foundation on your request list because you joined us last month, as did Amanda. Amanda and Nicole joined me for last month's Requestisode, and they both got picked first this month. I don't know if that's encouraging for people to keep joining us and coming back. But based on the new additions and the foundation that was already there, what did you pick to perform this evening and why?
So I went with a new request. I'm going to go with Darren Walsh's request. It's a favorite song of mine by Neil Young called Harvest Moon.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
I just got the chills. I cannot wait to hear you perform this. I saw Darren's requests and I was like, ooh, I feel bad because I feel like there may be songs that people have to learn, except yours was like, that's one that I kind of recognize. I hope she picks it. And I'm so glad you did.
I know.
I love this song. And I've been fortunate enough to see Neil Young perform it live under a full moon. Like it was amazing. So thank you so much, Darren, for your request.
Darren is obviously everyone who made requests is a Patreon community member, and he's in the chat right now on YouTube, and he says, yay! He's excited to hear it live here on this Patreon Requestisode. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is Nicole Pierce performing Neil Young's Harvest Moon.
Come a little bit closer, hear what I have to say. Just like children sleeping, we could dream this night away. But there's a full moon rising, let's go dancing in the light. We know where the music's playing, let's go out and feel the night. Because I'm still in love with you, I wanna see you dance again. Because I'm still in love with you on this harvest moon. When we were strangers, I watched you from afar. And when we were lovers, I loved you with all my heart. But now it's getting late, and the moon is climbing high. I wanna celebrate, see it shining in your eye. Because I'm still in love with you, I want because I'm still in love with you. On this harvest moon.
Oh my gosh.
Freaking amazing.
Thank you so much.
I like it better than Neil Young's.
Ooh,
Agreed.
Yes.
And Neil Diamond.
Agreed.
And Neil Diamond too. But
that's
oh my
nice.
gosh.
It
That's,
was so beautiful and like the most like simple and beautiful thing. You know, like it's that like stripped down it's just my gorgeous voice and the guitar playing.
I mean, thank you so much. Neil Young can just make such simple songs so powerful. It's an amazing talent of his.
the way that it sounded like to me, if I closed my eyes, it was coming right off the radio.
Yeah.
As is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's
As is. Nothing else needed to be done to it.
That's the thing about this amazing cast, and having been able to perform virtually thanks to COVID. I say thanks in quotes.
Thanks, COVID.
Since for the past 3.5 years, we've really I have to say we've become well versed in live performance over the internet, and so a lot of I would say, with the exception of my own, the performances you've heard already on this show are just top-notch quality musical performances, and they're happening live, being piped in from people's homes, from across the universe, or at least across this world here on the planet Earth, thanks to these beautiful humans that are here and these super talented and skilled individuals sharing their gifts with us here on this Requestisode. That was a request from Darren Walsh, who's watching from, I believe he is in the state of Washington. And he says, a wonderful performance, big smile from me, one of those heart tuggers, just saw Neil a month ago, a favorite. You must have gone to the same tour my Jamie took her parents to. They saw him at the Greek not too long ago.
Oh. Wait a minute. Does that mean that Darren is from Washington?
Dad joke.
Thank you. Sorry, Darren. It was there, and I had to do it.
That took a while for
Let's
our
not
first
lose
dad joke.
Patreon members. No, I'm just
We're trying to get people to subscribe tonight, Craig.
Oh, hey, Darren is laughing. He's in the chat. It's wahaha. So
There is a whole audience of people.
Waha Washington? Sorry, I can't.
Oh, there we go. Wendy, thank you for joining in.
Everyone.
I believe he actually resides close to the city of Seattle.
And the Patreon goes down.
Oh,
It's getting contagious in here.
started at 18 members. We're down to 4.
Oh, wait, that wasn't our goal.
That's us. Yes.
Yeah, that's us. We're all put it in.
So now is your turn to punish Craig by putting his name in the chat first, or whoever you want to hear next and perform on the show. Go ahead and drop somebody's name in the chat. Who do we have left? We have Wendy, we have Mike, and we have Craig. Oh, Kelsey drops in first. She says Wendy.
Oh.
Wendy Walker. What did you choose for off your request list for this evening, and why?
There was a few, and so the other ones, they're in my pocket for next time.
Nice.
I'm just gonna save them. But there was one that I don't know. I'm really tired, you guys. Like I said, I had a wedding at like 7 a.m. this morning and an event last night, so I'm asleep. But
And for anyone listening to the podcast that doesn't know right off the top of their head, she is a wedding DJ.
yes, I
She
am.
didn't get married this morning.
I had a wedding.
Morning and
We have had performers here on the show on their anniversary.
Yes.
but we have yet to have somebody on their wedding day.
Someone do it.
Go.
Okay, let's go. Everybody. Oh, what if we just all simultaneously renew our vows?
Let's go. I'm ready. I'm
To
ordained.
each other.
We'll become a
Let's see.
real.
1, 2, 3.
a
Okay,
real
we got 3
live
guys and
family.
3 girls here.
Uh-oh. Well, my wife, she's right through the wall here.
I have dibs on Jamie. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'll keep my comments to myself after that. So, what did you choose again?
Okay, it's a song. I don't know if I've ever performed it live on any of these, but I'm telling you, like in my car, it's a big hit. In the bathtub alone, it's a huge hit.
That's my kind of song.
It's a little Patsy Cline.
I know.
A huge hit in my bathtub.
I will continue to keep my comments to myself. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Wendy Walker with Walking After Midnight by Patsy Cline on our Requestisode as a request from Krista King here on COVE Podcast.
I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I walk for miles along the highway. Well, that's just my way of saying I love you. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, night winds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, out in the starlight, just hoping you may be somewhere. Walking after midnight, searching for me. I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy and night winds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, out in the starlight, just hoping you may be somewhere walking after midnight, searching for me.
Wendy Walker.
Oh my goodness.
Fantastic performance.
Chris Martin. I got real applause from up above from Chris Martin. Thank you, honey.
And cheering even.
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing, amazing. And keep the rest for the next request episode you can join us on.
They're in my pocket.
Your back pocket with the Patsy Cline and with the country influence. I have to throw out there because it hasn't come out yet. I'm going to start throwing some travel blogs onto my my podcast. I have my trip to Las Vegas that's going to be coming out next week, where I talk about all the things my family did and I describe the Titanic convention and take you step by step through all that stuff. And then in the future, near future, I'm going to take you through my trip to Nashville, where heard a lot of great old country music there, and I was thinking while you were playing your Patsy Cline song, we got to have like a family trip or a Cove community like Nashville trip. We would have to plan it out like a couple of years, like we do the Polly's Picnic cruises. But if we did like a Cove community trip to Nashville. How cool would that be?
I'm in.
Sold.
I'm in.
That would be nice.
In.
Do it. Let's start planning 2025. But speaking of the Cove community, let me highlight the next tier on the Patreon. So, if you, I described all the perks from the $3 tier. That's the Cove community members. The next one is the Cove crew members, up at $6 if you want to double it. With this tier, you get everything from the $3 tier. And then on top of that, you get a full bank of our recording session video archive every episode. So we sit down and we record. We might record an hour and a half, or who knows how long it'll go. But then the edited version gets down to like 45 minutes. So while you're enjoying the polished up edited versions that are out there in the world, there's a whole live recording session that happens and gets recorded video and audio, and you get a full access to that whole archive there. You'll also get access to quarterly virtual hangouts. We're about to have our first one next month in October, and that is where we might get together and play Jackbox games, or we might just get together and talk about like our favorite episodes and favorite guests. But everyone in the Cove crew member community on Patreon will get an invite to a Zoom, and we'll all hang out for a couple of hours and just have some fun. And you'll also get an anniversary shout out on the anniversary of the day you joined our Patreon. Whenever the next episode is of the podcast, I'm going to say happy anniversary to our Cove Patreon member and give you a shout out. So that's everything that comes with the Cove crew member tier. And I'll talk about the final one, the curator, after our next performer, who is going to be who in the live chat. Who?
Go now.
Who's left? There's Craig. Craig's left. Craig, who we Craig made that awesome joke. And look at that. Craig's the first person that comes up. That's amazing.
Wait a minute.
Well, Craig, based on all the requests that came in for this Requestisode, what grabbed your interest and why?
Well, I'm doing, actually, this is kind of interesting because I'm doing a 2-for-1.
How's that?
Let me explain. I will be doing a poem. In a sense, it's a 2-for-1 poem because they are both one and the same. But they're attributed to, in this case, two different people. And two different people requested this poem. So here's all the deets behind it. The poem Don't Quit by John Greenleaf Whittier, who was requested by Krista King, and Keep Going by Edgar Guest, who was requested by Emily Thatcher, are really the same poem. Now, I went in and I looked into the background of this poem, and here's a little info about it. One potentially credible citation out of the University of Michigan attributes this poem as being the work of John Greenleaf Whittier because the author's work predates Guest's 1921 copyright of the poem. So it is plausible that Guest, an American poet and journalist who used to be at the Detroit Free Press for over 60 years, might have borrowed the poem from Whittier and received the copyright for it. And it is often credited also to an anonymous author, as it has been widely circulated and published without a clear origin. And as of today, it is considered a public domain work, and its exact authorship still technically remains unknown.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's Craig Jackman interpreting whether you believe it's John Greenleaf Whittier's work or Edgar or Edward Guest's work. Don't quit or keep going. The mystery shall be explored on a future episode of the Magical Mystery Hour. Who actually wrote this poem by whoever it was. Interpreted by Craig Jackman.
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is strange with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure turns about when we might have won had we stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt, and you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worst that you must not quit.
Brilliant! Brilliantly performed by Craig Jackman. Give it up for Craig. And the fourth stanza is, if the glove doesn't fit, you
Quit.
Which was not written by Johnny Cochran. If you watch
Chewbacca does not.
find out who wrote it.
Wookiees do not live on Endor. If you haven't heard the recent Magical Mystery podcast, check that out. Amanda Benjamin tells us the tale of O.J. Simpson in the way that we've never heard before, and blew my mind. It was a double soup on the floor as we hear who maybe actually did it. Right. Well, we have one last performer for this Requestisode, and just one last tier to talk about on Patreon. It's actually the COVE Curator tier, which is the top tier. I wanted to make like exclusive. So there's only 12 spots, and they're all 12 full at the moment. But I just wanted to talk about it. Aside from everything else that you've already heard about, the COVE Curators get their names. If you've watched episodes on YouTube, their names in the video credits on YouTube, edited episode videos. Monthly shout out on the podcast, update letters every 3 months. I'm sorry, 4 months, 3 times a year, I meant to say, on how the podcast is going, how the money is being used. And we're about to start rolling out our first COVE podcast merchandise. You get first dibs before they're made available to the public. So those are the curators. Perks, as I mentioned, that is an exclusive top shelf that they're all full at the moment. But should anybody decide to vacate at any moment, as I've said, once you subscribe to the Patreon, you can certainly stop at any time. All right, enough about that. We have one performer left, and that is Mr. Mike Pierce. Mike, welcome to your first Requestisode.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been fun being here and hearing everyone play their songs before me here. It's definitely put the pressure on. Everyone's been great so far.
First, hopefully, of many. But with the request that came in for you, sir, what grabbed your attention and why?
So there was actually a couple of them that grabbed my attention. I was really happy to see the request list, and one of them that I'm not going to do was a request from Darren Walsh for the song Days by the Kinks, and I love the Kinks. I wanted to do it so bad. I want to take every opportunity to play a Kinks song, but just tried to play it a couple times. And there's another song that was requested by Emily Thatcher, which is I Walk the Line by Johnny Cash, and I've been wanting to play that one on one of these shows for a while now. I absolutely love Johnny Cash, so I decided to go with a more well-known song with the Johnny Cash. But I will keep Days by the Kinks for a later episode or a later show.
Got my Johnny Cash shirt on, even. Look at that.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey.
Perfect.
I didn't know it was Johnny Cash night.
I know.
I would have worn my shirt.
Catch up, Paul.
Oh, but I can't wait to hear Mike perform this. And I'm so excited for everybody out there in the Cove community to hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Mr. Mike Pierce performing Johnny Cash, Walk the Line.
I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. I find it very, very easy to be true. I find myself alone when each day's through. Yes, I'll admit that I'm a fool for you. Because you're mine, I walk the line. As sure as night is dark and day is light, I keep you on my mind both day and night. And happiness I've known proves that it's right. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Got a way to keep me on your side. You give me cause for love that I can't hide. For you I know I'd even try to turn the tide. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line.
That seals it. Family trip to Nashville.
Yes.
And ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mike Pierce.
Guys, happy to end the show here with everyone.
I want to thank everybody, all of the humans on the screen, for dedicating their evening to the show tonight, lending your time and talents to the Cove community and the Patreon community that's happening, and the Requestisodes that happen monthly. Again, next month there will be 2. So if you enjoyed your time tonight, make sure you're here for the future ones as well. Thank you everybody out in the live chat that has been listening, and thank you everybody who's listened to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. And if you haven't found us yet on YouTube, find us at COVEpodcast.com and subscribe. And we can't wait to see you with something entirely different next Tuesday night. Thank you all. Love you. We'll see you soon.